Welcome back, everybody. I'm Joel Freeman. I'm joined by my good friend Casey White, and this is coverage of the back nine of the 2023 Crush on the Concho presented by Lone Star Disc. How's it going, Casey?
It's going great, and we are going to be right on the back nine for the Middle Concho Temp course here for round one, and we've got a little bit of a battle going on our card.
You are setting a hot pace, my friend. We're about to see the leaderboard here, 9 through 9. Gotta love that.
That's what we like to see. I mean, what else can you ask for?
That's right. Yeah, we've got some really good players out here. This is an A tier. Nick Roughton, he's a local player, and he's always a sleeper on these courses. So yeah, Nick's gonna be looking to finish off his round well. And starting right off the bat on a par 5. Talk about this hole. 950
feet and OB right, basically OB left. There is water, but you don't see it. And it's a long way to go with a weird shape to the open airspace. There are trees, there is open space, but not typically the way that you would shape a disc flight.
Sure. Yeah, it forces you to go with that like late flip, but eagle is in play.
So that is why I'm going roller.
Busting out the roller. So, yeah, normally you're either going, like I said, high-speed late flip or roller are the most common plays, and you're getting this a little too turned over.
Yep, and that is going to end up out of bounds, unfortunately. Just a little bit of a sneaky headwind that I didn't predict, and just directed it to the right.
Yeah, so because of the unpredictability of the wind, I'm going air shot. And I'm mostly committed to this shot. It was going a long way if it were to get around that tree, but really picking that shot, if I throw it just right, yes, I've got the eagle opportunity. If I turn it over a little bit too much, it hits those branches. No big deal.
As long as this hole it is fairly simple as far as like you just got to chop it up and get your best score. I mean, what else is that to a disc golf hole?
Definitely, yeah. I think for especially guys at the top level, 950 par 5, there aren't too many trees in the way, so you're really looking to go basically 400 feet, 150. There's your birdie look.
Nikko trying to get 600 feet on his first one. I loved the angle of this roller out of his hand. I knew it was way better than mine.
Oh, but it's tracking towards the road just like yours.
The wind just wasn't going to let it stay in.
Wow.
The roller was definitely not the play today.
Shoot, yeah. Yeah. Air shot, a little bit safer on that tee shot. And, yeah, again, it's really just like if you don't make any major mistakes, you're going to be having a look for birdie. Emerson getting this one up and over.
It's a weird thing about Texas trees. They're so unforgiving with the way that they're shaped for the low ceiling.
Yeah.
But they're all so short that if you have the angle, you can always throw over them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, good progress made from Emerson. I'm just going kind of low, hyzer, just trying to make progress.
You throw an emperor here?
Yeah. Yep, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Birdie opportunity.
Wide open to the basket from there.
Yeah. All right, so tell me about what you were looking at over here by the road.
Yeah, I had a little bit of self-confliction. I wanted to go with the roller, but the fact that it just looked like it could have gone to the road OB again, I just wanted to go late flip backhand like I should have on the first shot.
Okay.
And I basically threw that as best I could.
Yeah, you were probably in that 600-foot range, something like that. So, yeah, you'll be looking at a par. And Nikko's going full blast on this one. Boom. Gets that one on a nice angle.
Big flexor. That is an overstable disc because for a second, if it was understable, I thought it might have gone OB right. But he put that thing inside the circle from way deep.
Yeah, Nikko knows his angles. That's awesome. So he's going to have a 23-footer for birdie.
For birdie after going out of bounds.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and here I am giving half a stroke to the field. We'll see if I can make that a half stroke back up from circle's edge.
Yeah, you just swung out the Gator 3 just a little bit wider than you would have liked, but the wind knocked it down and kept you at circle's edge.
Yeah, not really an excuse from there, but yeah, like you said, it wasn't a terrible shot, but the wind just kind of got on top of it. Nice approach from Emerson. We'll be tapping in for birdie.
Emerson played this hole the way that you would expect.
Yeah, yeah.
I have about 100-footer
Trying to make it?
to save my perfect round.
Oh, sure. You're trying to keep things going for sure. Okay. All right, circle's edge. Yeah, pretty good release, but the headwind just kind of kept it up ever so slightly. Great save from Nikko. That's fantastic.
So we have a couple OBs. One of them resulted in a birdie. One of them resulted in a par. And you and Emerson stayed safe and also did the same score separation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's disappointing for me. You know, 2 solid shots, you know, all the ingredients for a birdie, but then that approach shot just got away from me a little bit.
Yeah, if I was going to get mad about getting a par, it would have been on the first shot. Like the rest of the hole, I played it exactly how I had to.
Yeah.
Hole 11, sorry. You're going to be looking at basically your target. You just throw it straight as far as you can, and then you have another short approach from there. Slight backstop with the hill behind the basket, but most of the players in the field here are chalking this one up as a 3 before they even throw it.
Definitely. Yeah, not much in the way, and at that 700-foot range, you know, again, for the top players in the field, it's similar to the last hole, just in that, you know, barring any major mistakes, you're going to be looking at a birdie.
This hole used to be an almost unreachable par 3, so at least it's somewhat of a golf hole now, but we are so far into the back of the property that you got to get back close to the rest of the course somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. So nice shape out of Emerson there. We're just having basically a little distance contest.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Ooh, looks like Nikko might have gotten Emerson by a few feet there.
He's in the lead of our distance comp right now. I'm going a little just send it action.
Yeah, this one's been in your bag for a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, 3 years.
Heck yeah.
Still overstable.
That's cool for a distance driver, you know, for something high speed to stay in your bag that long.
It's a one of a kind.
Yeah, very easy to lose track of something that goes that far. All right, so I'm just trying to blast this thing over here. I know it's going to fade, but I got it over just a little bit.
I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a problem, though.
You know, there are only like 3 or 4 trees that you could possibly involve on this hole.
And you almost did
I've done it.
Oh,
I'm hitting a gap
Okay.
here. Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm making this hole about as hard as it possibly could be. Did not commit to the angle here, and again, leaving myself at circle's edge. So 2 holes in a row that you're really counting on getting birdies, and I'm just like lazy.
I'm going putter backhand here, decided against the sidearm.
Oh, that was like easy peasy.
And I'm going to join you
Approach
in
there.
that group of can't put yourself in range on 2 pretty wide open up shots.
That's disappointing. All right, Emerson goes sidearm. Does so very nicely.
Piece cake.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. I mean, just throw it far off the tee, get your approach nice and close, move on.
And Nico's going to give me an example of just how easy it is to throw a backhand approach here.
So you're outside the circle. What are you thinking? Like 50? Is that
I would give myself like a 45.
okay?
And I didn't want to come up short, so I threw it 20 long.
Put some pepper on that. Okay, so here's my little tester. This is about 35 feet. Same wind as the last hole, and that was a nice one.
That was a no-doubter.
That was an important putt for me because it's like 2 holes in a row. You know, you don't want to just become like deflated balloon, you know, headed into the rest of the round. So yeah, so that was a big one for me to kind of keep the momentum going. And you had your perfect front 9, and then here you are, 2 pars in a row.
I would argue the 2 easiest holes in the course.
Yeah. Yeah, not where you'd expect a birdie run like that to end.
Not at all.
So still managed to get 3 out of 4 birdies on the card. And we got a little island hole here.
With an ace bounty for $1,000. elevated basket on a picnic table. You'll see this metal rail right here. Once you cross that metal rail, you have to be in this island that's just barely the size of the circle, but way shorter in some spots.
Yeah. So technically you do have the option to lay up, but you're really only going to see that in extreme winds.
The island is shaped like a big triangle.
Yeah. Emerson, nice line, but this came out slow.
It just got a little weird disc reaction on the ground.
I think, Emerson blasts forehands. He throws them far, and I just noticed, I think with the high-speed driver in his hand, he was maybe like worried about going long past the island, and so I think he overcompensated and slowed his swing down too much. That was a nice shot from Nikko.
Nikko just trickling into the bullseye.
I was between kind of a gentle high speed or a firm Firebird. Stuck with the Firebird here.
You usually do.
Yeah.
And almost absolutely parks it. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Dancing around on the table. That was not something you see every day.
Very cool.
Yeah, so on the sidearm line, it's very open, and then you have a little bit of a gamble at the last second with these 3 trees late.
I'm choosing the high-speed option, and I'm glad I did because that faded very hard when it probably didn't deserve to.
Nah, you got a nice skip off the road, and 3 out of 4 of us are right there in the bullseye. Oh, okay, so this drop zone, pretty punishing.
Very.
Not a great opportunity, but Emerson with a really good effort. Strong effort, nearly makes it.
This hole truly is like a birdie or bogey hole.
Yeah. As are many island holes out there, So yeah, Emerson's gonna fall off the pace just a little bit. You're still leading the way.
Yep, good to get back on the board with another birdie.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, so hole 13. 289 I feel like is a little bit deceiving. It's a little bit uphill, and I want to say we're probably thinking of it more like 330, 340. There's a nice kind of sidearm gap. That's the most popular option.
The backhand turnover is an option, but the fact that there is OB road to the left-hand side, it just makes more sense to throw the sidearm.
Man, that looked like a nice shot from Nikko and was probably going to be skipping up towards the basket, but just catches a late branch. This one came out of my hand nice, but just a little bit low.
The height was actually my favorite part.
No harm, no foul, yeah.
Once he put out that laser beam and I knew it was going to catch edge on the hyzer, I was like, that's circle 1 at worst.
Yeah. You did kind of the opposite. Got this one
a
little too high.
A little too high, tagged a tree.
Yeah.
A little too high, a little too much hyzer. But like I said, really just focusing on not throwing it too far left out of bounds.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the release angle you were looking for. This is a nice angle from Emerson, though. Beautiful shot.
The same disc he just threw on the island and makes the correction.
Yeah. Yeah, that always feels good when you throw a bad shot with a specific disc. You pull it out again, and you're able to kind of like make friends with it again. Ooh, and that got a little spicy.
For some reason, I thought that I was like 90 feet away, but it turns out it was way closer, and I launched it almost outside the circle.
Yeah. Go with a bit of his own.
Yeah, that was good.
Not impressed with himself.
He had a much better speed on it than I did, though.
Yeah. Got a little tester trying to keep the scorecard clean here. That was a nice make.
Very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually one of the holes on the course that gives me more trouble than I would like to admit, but it's because on my sidearm, my miss is usually a turned over sidearm that's supposed to be moving to the right.
Sure. No, I completely hear you, and I second that. This hole, for some reason, is just like kind of sneaky hard. Seems like it should be fairly simple, but...
And we've played it in years past, and I've had it in trouble then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's... That road is like, you don't think it's in play, but it's always looming. And that moment you lose focus a little bit, you could easily find yourself over there. All right, hole 14. Talk about this hole.
We got OB left once again, except this is a hole that righty backhand players are going to be trying to commit to that dead straight laser beam distance driver, but if you let it fade out the slightest bit early, you might end up skipping onto the road late in the fairway. So most players either are going for like a kind of overstable choice out to the right and playing the flex back, or like a hyzer flip over the road that never really hyzers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not messing with that road. Just trying to make progress and keep it safe.
And you're doing all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, very happy with that shot. It's a very common sight to see somebody kind of like undercommit on the backhand. Before you know it, you're skipping on that road around that corner, and you're out of bounds. So safe is good. Emerson getting this one a little lower than he would have liked, but it's still fine.
Good to see it didn't cut roll, though.
Yeah. What's like the approach looking like from over there? Is that still attackable from back there?
I think he's got the line over the road, so he should have a pretty straight-on view at the basket.
Oh, and Nikko doing almost good enough. Yeah. Kind of what I was talking about, where that road just comes up quicker than you would like.
Not sure what the mistake was there, if it was like a wrong disc selection or just a missed angle.
Sure.
And watching Nikko do that, make sure to stay safe, but I throw it too safe.
Very safe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, safe is good on this hole, but that's like little too extreme. You're leaving yourself more work than you'd
This
like.
is definitely one of the shots that I found myself challenged with the lack of wind. I had been throwing a pretty overstable disc with the tailwind and had no issues with it. But now I left myself out of position and then tagged another tree, so I'm looking at par at best.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, one route that we did not see, there's a common, right to left wind off the tee, and you'll see players go with that outside high play. None of that this time. Emerson with a pretty good approach. What is that, maybe 25 feet?
Yeah, I would say 20.
I had either a simple backhand or a little bit of a scarier forehand. Went for the backhand and happy with that.
Gator 3 again?
Yep, that same green one.
I'm unsure of Nikko's disc here. I'm going to guess it might be that Walker, the same one Emerson's throwing.
I'm betting that's a pretty good guess, and that's a pretty good shot.
He's going to be saving par. Excuse me, I was considering giving this one a bid for the birdie, but just wanted to kind of get out of there clean.
Sure. It looked a little undercommitted. Were you happy with that shot?
I wasn't unhappy with it, but I definitely wasn't satisfied.
Yeah. Emerson's been looking so good with the putter and just leaves that one into the cage.
Emerson had a truck kind of taunting him on that putt. He was a little unsettled.
That was something I noticed. Emerson was getting razzed pretty good this round. A lot of little noises when he was like lining up his shots.
Yeah, you see the road that we keep playing alongside for the entire course, basically, or at least this back nine. And vehicles are going in and out of the course constantly. Non-disc golfers and disc golfers.
All right, so this is to pass you up?
Yep.
Yeah, little 18-footer, and I've caught the man who went perfect through 9.
And that's a simple hole. Like, you just basically did what we would expect to do. It wasn't like an insane thing. We just all happened to make our mistakes.
Yeah, funny enough, I guess 3 out of the 4 holes that you've missed so far have been like some of the easier holes out here.
Yep, this is very true.
Okay, so these last few holes, there's kind of like a similar theme. We're playing right along that road, and if you have a good sidearm can help out. I just didn't want to bring that road into play.
And I don't blame you.
And boy, did I not.
You certainly didn't.
Committed there, turned over into the tree. That was not a good shot.
Emerson is not scared of that road when it comes to throwing a sidearm.
No, he's going to take that overstable distance driver, and there's one tree that's kind of in your way. You can go either side of it is fine. Emerson goes inside.
I think he was trying to go outside.
I agree. Yeah, that was shorter than he would have liked. Nikko going to try to correct on that. Looks a little better. Okay, kind of a weird reaction.
We thought that was really, really close to the basket. It's a little deceiving.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of reaction helped or hurt him because it probably would have just flared to a similar distance.
I'm going with the MD4 here, trying to just slide it up, but
Okay.
I just hit the ground a little too soon. I hit the
Yeah.
angle the way I wanted to, just wrong height.
Here's me, little flick, and getting way too aggressive here. happy the basket stopped me there.
Parked for par.
Yep. All right, Emerson at his favorite range. See if he can knock down another.
The answer is yes.
That was a no doubter.
You actually got a little Annie on that one.
That was a very pure putt. Yeah, the way Emerson threw that putt, that really like appeals to my eye. Like little nose up, little Annie. And close.
I knew I missed that one low. Not enough legs on that putt.
Sure.
As you can see me smacking my legs, telling them to work for me.
Yeah. So here's Nikko at 37 feet. A little high. So Emerson's taking a stroke on everybody here.
Nikko drew metal on almost every single circle 2 putt. It was just a little high or a little low every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected just one birdie on this hole. This is a hole where I feel like, especially with players of this caliber, you'd expect 2 to 3. So here's a hole with a very similar vibe, but a little more length to it.
And I think that the distance on this one is incorrect. It's about 50 feet farther than it says. So we're looking at about a 400-foot shot. And there is that option to throw it at the road and skip away with a sidearm. But there's also a dead straight backhand, a turnover backhand, or a late flip backhand, and a super wide hyzer.
Definitely. Yeah, well said. There's a ton of options. It's just kind of whatever you feel good about. So Emerson's just going straight at it.
Yes, that inside left late flip.
Little inside, but not bad. That's circle's edge. I'm good. I'm reaching for that Firebird again, just trying to slam it over.
You're throwing a line I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, something about that like flex just kind of makes more sense to me on this line.
I like it.
And I got inside the circle. I was surprised to see, like with my arm speed, when you get a 9-speed disc in your hand, like you're not expecting it to go short of 400 feet. Like that was a nice full pull, so I was just surprised to see that one go short. Nikko taking that hyzer play, which is often a great option because there's often wind helping, but with no helping wind, it didn't really get the left push that he needed.
I'm going for the right side of Emerson's gap.
Oh, no.
And we have a complete misfire and never had a chance to stay in bound for a second.
That one fell out of your hand pretty good.
Just a little bit of doubt on the the grip.
Okay.
And I just let it early release. And
were you reaching for a PD there?
No, that was CD2.
CD2, okay.
Here's my look for par.
Boom!
And we'll stay bogey free.
That's sick. That was huge. How far was that?
I think it was about 70.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't usually jump inside a circle 2, and
sure.
I jumped for that one. Ooh, Nikko with a little gap putt. I had no idea that this was what he was faced with.
He's going through.
Oh, off the top again.
Nearly had what it takes. I mean, you've heard people say it before. It almost seems to help guide the disc into the basket when you have a couple obstacles in your way like that.
Absolutely.
Couldn't quite get that one to drop. Yeah, that was not the release that Emerson was looking for there.
Another putt, though, that he got slightly razzed by a vehicle right before he was about to set up. You're going to clean up the birdie.
Yeah, that was a good connection.
Throwing the only line that I didn't consider.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Gosh, Emerson's kicking himself. He's going, man, like from long range, like I'm cash money, and then I get up here to circle's edge and leaving it high and left.
I think we've all had those days.
Definitely. So Nikko's round has stayed very slow. Not really something you would expect out of him.
Definitely not.
All right, so 17. We're looking for the road skip here.
We're playing a similar basket location according to the road, but we are teeing off a little bit more parallel. So the shot is like a slight hyzer backhand skipper or the road skip flex forehand.
Yeah, and I'm just licking my chops at this is my kind of shot. Just throw it out to the road, and it was.
Dang it, dude.
That shot was like 1% off. I had the right angle, the right speed, everything, but just a little low.
It was like 9 inches low.
Yeah, just a foot low. Otherwise, it would have been under the bucket, but I'll have a tester instead. Let's see if Emerson can correct. Yeah, and he never quite fully committed to this one. Just kind of early the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
But an opportunity nonetheless. Both of us will have long opportunities. See if Nikko can get over on this one.
Nikko trying to do the better of two evils of what your shots just did, and
Yeah.
I think he's got the closest bid so far.
Yeah, a little bit better. 3 shots off and 0 inside the circle. Not really what you would expect, but
Too straight.
I was in between FD and FD1 here. I chose FD because it's the second run, but I just flipped it up a little too committed on that power.
yeah, that backhand route is a viable option, but you got to keep that left edge down. Oh, and you get a little piece of the basket there.
Just tagging off the cage for back-to-back long putts.
That would have been cool. Getting those both to drop back to back. Emerson never given that one the life that it needed. I've got a chance from a similar range here. Yeah, decent. I was counting on the small bit of wind that was there to kind of drop it, and it didn't. You go outside the circle. It just pulls it a little bit. So no birdies. This is a relatively simple hole as well. And yeah, it's looking like we're all going to get a bunch of pars.
Yeah, and we all had just long birdie bids, and none of us could clean it up.
Yeah.
I would say none of us are really blaming our putts on this one. We're blaming it on our tee shots.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if, the 4 of us had another chance to throw one more tee shot, I bet 3 out of the 4 of us would be inside the circle.
Of course.
But there it is, all pars. And again, you, me, and Emerson with solid rounds so far. 1 hole to go, and talk about options.
Hole 18 is another, I would say, triple option.
Yep.
It's that dead straight flip up sidearm or the right side million tiny skip backhand. And we're going to see both here. You're going to opt for the sidearm, which I'm not surprised by at all. What I am surprised by is the ultra-wide road skip sidearm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get it onto the road. And this was a precisely identical issue to the last tee shot. Both of them were exactly what I wanted, minus just a foot of height. So I just needed that a foot higher, and it would have been under the bucket. But, whoa, Emerson getting a little slip here.
Complete wipeout from Emerson on the tee pad there.
He was taking this middle sidearm line, which I love if there's a headwind. Keeps the road out of play. And
Stay up.
Nico with a
Stay
nice
way
looking
up.
angle on the backhand.
Go.
But catching the ground a little early.
Yep.
And then what's your game plan here?
I'm basically correcting on my shot from the last hole where I chose away from the FD1. I am now choosing that disc and giving it the correct angle so I can get the skip rather than just slide out like Nikko's did.
Oh, that's a great shot.
I was very happy with that.
Very nice. Yeah, 20-footer to bring yourself to an 11 under.
Emerson throwing that blue bonnet or jackrabbit.
He's trying to make it.
Get it.
Oh, that was a great effort.
It's funny because Emerson putts with blue bonnets, but he has a blue jackrabbit.
Nice and simple. Keeping it easy for everybody to keep track of.
Speaking of jackrabbits,
Nikko, what a way to cap off the round.
very good finish.
This man he's down, but he's not out. In the middle of the round, he said, "I'm bleeding, but I'm not dead." He's still here. He's still fighting, trying to get birdies.
And you're loving that one too.
Boom. Yeah, really nice to cap off the round with a little 40-footer. Bring my score to 13.
Great finish.
Yeah, it feels good to Feels good to knock down a big putt at the end. And yourself finishing with a nice birdie as well.
I'm happy to be knocking down a 20-footer at the end. Definitely not the back nine I was hoping for, but it's still a solid round.
So these scores, you think the three of us you think those are good enough to be on lead card? We're about to find out.
I would say so.
All right, here's a look at our leaderboard. I had a better back nine.
You did.
You had the front nine taken care of. I had the back nine a little better dialed in.
Only one bogey for the card, and that was on the island hole, so you can't really complain with being under par, but
Yeah.
definitely a little more gray than we would all probably like to see on our scorecards.
Sure. Yeah, we all left a couple out there. Okay, there's our lead card. Myself, yourself, Emerson, and Blake Whitehead. You know anything about Blake's game?
I do not. It looks like we're going to find out tomorrow, and we're going to be playing the Middle Concho permanent course. So a little bit of a switch up, but I would say similar style golf going to be played.
A lot of talent, a lot of good contenders out there, so should be interesting, and a lot of birdies waiting. Like I said, Nico's going to be looking to bounce back. He's going to be fighting his way back up there.
That's going to do it for this first round coverage of the 2023 Crush on the Concho, presented by Lone Star Disc and sponsored by Low Putt. Thank you for watching, and we will see you for round 2.
See you on the next one.
Thank you.